Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FSF Podcast. I am Tim. I am your host. And as a reminder, this is still the show that is made by nerds for nerds. So welcome to this here Nerdatorium. Our guest today is a longtime actor. And I say longtime actor because she got started in the acting business as a pretty young, a youngling, if you're a Star Wars fan. But yeah, so she was a very young child when she got started. But she's not just an actor, she's a voice actor. She does singing and songwriting, and she got her start with a show called Annie. Maybe you remember that, and she was doing that with a touring company, and there's a whole lot more. We're going to find out a lot about that, but she also went on to be Peppermint Patty in the Peanuts animations, of course, based on the iconic comic strips by Charles Schulz. So I am very excited to welcome Patricia Patts to the FSF Podcast. Welcome to the show, Patricia.
The crowd goes wild.
I'm going to add fanfare in there. You know that now, right?
That's great. Hi.
Hi. Howdy. I got all the P's out in that sense. There's a lot of P's. Peppermint
there are a
Patty,
lot of P's.
Peanuts, Patricia Patts.
I know. It's kind of funny.
It is.
Yeah. And the other funny thing is you mentioned Annie. In the show, her real name is Anne Elizabeth Bennett, and my middle name is Anne.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Boy, you're just tying right into all your characters, aren't you?
Right. I often say I wish my parents had given me more middle names so I could have played more roles.
That's fantastic. All right. So, Patricia, one of the things that I love to do on this show, and it's the first thing I do with every single guest, because I like to know what makes a person tick, why they do what they do, why they became interested in doing the work that they're doing. And I'm a nerd. And nerds.
I'm sitting here in my head thinking politics and religion. Okay, so you have to know the last thing he said to me was, we just don't talk about politics and religion. So that's what makes me tick, Tim. No, I'm sorry.
I love it. Yeah, so where do you stand on politics and religion? All right, so, but I'm a nerd, and nerds love origin stories. So in the story of Patricia Patts,
yes,
what made you say, even as a young person, that this is what I want to do with my life?
So my sister was the first one who said she wanted to be an actor. She was apparently 3 and told our mom that she wanted to be in the TV screen. And my mom said, oh, it's not little people inside of the TV. And she went, I know, Mom. There's a TV studio and there are people that run cameras and others that run lights. And my mom's going, how does she know all of this?
Yeah, at such a young age. Yeah.
So they started her in children's theater, the Boston Children's Theater, when she was young. And so my first audition was at the Boston Children's Theater for, oddly enough, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I was 3 and I was way too young for the part. And then we moved to California and got involved in a theater group there. And, some families are football families and some are baseball families. We were a theater family. The whole family was involved in the theater. We built sets. We made costumes. We painted. We sold tickets. We sold concessions. And we just met like all these people. This was in like 1975. And we were working with other kids and adults and professionals and people wanting to be professional. And so looking back on it now, it seems sort of inevitable that we all got an agent. We all started working. Almost all of us did something professionally. I think my brother Barry is the only one that never did anything, but he kind of wasn't as enthusiastic about it as the rest of us either. So,
okay.
Yeah. That's my
Okay.
origin.
All right. No, that's kind of cool. So did Barry just not have the right middle names? He couldn't get the right roles?
You know, there aren't very many other than Flash. I don't think there's anybody named Barry on TV or
Yeah, Barry
movies.
Allen.
Is
Yeah.
there? There's
Not.
Barry Allen. That's about it.
I
That was
don't
his
think that.
problem.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of popular characters with the name Barry.
Yeah.
Might
Yeah.
have might have got him a Bartholomew here and there, but
Maybe.
maybe
Anyway.
it's a
So,
possibility. Okay. Well, that's a cool origin story. Now, I mentioned that you had started off with, doing some work with Annie and being part of
mhm.
it, that touring group. And how old
Yeah.
were you when that started?
So I was 10 when I got that, but by that point I was already a professional actor.
Okay.
I had done commercials starting at about 8, and I got The New Little Rascals with Norman Lear,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
was supposed to be a television show. They ended up not doing the television show, but they did pull some of the clips together and made the movie that
Right.
Gary
Okay.
Coleman's in. And of course, that's how he got onto Different Strokes. They loved him. They wrote the show around him.
Okay.
Um, so by the time I auditioned for Annie, I had done probably 40 shows.
Okay.
Um, I had done commercials, had an agent. Like I was full on a professional actor by the time I was 10 years old.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
I got Annie, and we were touring in San Francisco. And Charles Schulz and his wife came to see the show and offered me the part of
Oh
Peppermint
wow, that's
Patty.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I
I
didn't
didn't.
have
I
to
didn't.
audition or anything.
That's cool. I did not realize that's how that happened. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how cool is it to be kind of handpicked by the creator of the IP?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. A bunch of the kids were found by Lee Mendelson, who was the producer.
Right.
But I don't know that Sparky was all that involved in the casting most of the time. But Lee had also come to see the show, and they apparently called each other and said, "Oh, hey, I found the new Patty. No, I found the new Patty. No, 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 wait a minute." And they were fighting over me. So,
That's fantastic.
yeah.
No, no, she's perfect. No, no, I'm telling you, the one I got is perfect. That's pretty cool. All right. So, professional actor by the age of 10, you were
Yep.
doing all these different things.
Yep.
How do you make sure now you're out, you're on with this touring company, you're doing all these things, you're obviously busy as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
With more, and plus, there's still school wrapped up in all of that, and
Yep.
trying to be a kid and all of that.
Yep.
How did you make sure that you didn't get overwhelmed?
Um,
How
the
you didn't get burnt out with what you were doing?
school got easier, um, because I only had to do 3 hours a day. Um,
Okay,
the people that were around us were very aware that we were kids and made sure that we did a lot of really fun things.
cool.
So, I saw Grease at the movie theaters in San Francisco, and we took, you know, boat rides to Sausalito, and they worked to make sure that we were out having a good time, as
Awesome.
well as, working as hard as we did. Um, I think because I had done so many shows before anyway, it didn't feel any different to me. Um, and I had a lot of conversations with my mom because the the fandom of it was not what I was used to.
Okay.
We were doing small community theater. You'd walk out at the end of the night and there might be somebody that would go, "Oh, you did such a great job. Oh, thank you so much." Um, but this was, I'd be walking through a mall halfway across town and somebody would start screaming Annie. So it was a different level as far as that was concerned. And my conversations were, why does anybody care? Like, I still get dressed the same way. I'm still me. I'm still, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, and I had a hard time sort of wrapping my head around this idea that I was a star, because I didn't feel that way. I was just a
Sure.
kid doing a part, and it was a fun part. Um, so yeah,
That's
um,
interesting.
yeah. But and my mom, I credit my mom a lot with allowing me to sort of be who I was and do what I wanted to. Um, uh, Especially now as an adult, when I'm hanging out with other child actors, there's a lot of stories of, parents forcing them to do things.
Yeah.
And um, it'd be a long, drawn out story to tell you all of it. But there were some things that happened in Annie that were very discouraging things that I didn't actually face until COVID, of all times.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
and I got done with it and I was like, I need a break. I love acting. This was the stuff that went on, not the job itself. I loved the job. It was the other stuff. And I was like, I need a break. And my mom said, okay, if that's what you want to do. And in retrospect, as far as career wise, that was the worst thing I could have done,
Sure.
was to have stepped away at that high, you know? Um, but I think mentally it was the best thing that my parents could have allowed me to do.
Right.
And a couple years later, somebody called and wanted me for a part, and I kind of stepped back in and started working again around 15. Um, and just so many people that I've met were like, "Oh man, my mom would have never have allowed that." Um, so as crazy as my parents were, and I can look back and go, wow, they were not the best parents ever, like at all. And I love my parents, but uh,
Yeah, I know what you
there,
mean. I get
there
it.
were there were things that they did that I really appreciate now
Sure.
as an adult, that they always asked my opinion on. I always knew what was going on. Like, my parents needed the money to survive. Um, and my mom always came to me and said, here's the situation. This is how much we need. This is how much you have in the bank. So that I wasn't ever surprised when I got to be 18 and there was no money left. Like, you know,
Right, right.
um, so there's lots of things like that happened. So, and the dogs have started barking in the background.
That's okay. They just want to share their voice with everybody as
Right.
well.
Right.
They want to tell them their story. We're listening, dogs. Continue. Uh no, that's really cool though that your mom and dad were that way with you because
Yeah.
I've been doing this for a few years, going on 5 years now, and I'm amazed by the number of people who were child actors in one form or another who have stories about their parents pushing nonstop. Hey,
Yeah.
we're in this. We got to keep going now. This is how we're gonna. So
Yeah.
I love the fact that they allowed you to stop and step back a little bit,
Yeah.
regain emotional and mental stability, and
Yeah.
get your feet set back underneath you again.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Now,
wonderful
there
thing.
were there were moments when my mom would push as far as, like, if I was tired, I had an audition, I didn't want to go. Um, my mom would often say, "Well, do you not want to do this anymore?" And because if you don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. And I would go, "No, no,
Mhm.
no, I want to do it." And she'd go, "Okay, then you just need to sparkle for 5 minutes." She was from Boston,
Love
and she
it.
was a heavy
Sparkle.
smoker. And she would go, "Well, just, you just need to go in there and you need to sparkle for 5 minutes. That's all you need to do. And then you'll be fine."
I love it. Sparkle.
We actually
That's
put that
fantastic.
on their tombstone. Sparkle.
Love it. That's fantastic. That's, it's funny, because you're growing up, you spend so much time with your parents, and I mean, not just you, but most kids
Yeah.
spend all this time with their parents, and every parent has something that they say with regularity. Um, like my mother's tombstone is going to have the words "Make me know it" on it. Like
Make me know it.
yeah, I would tell her that I may have had undiagnosed ADHD as a kid.
Okay.
And I may have been easily distracted by everything that was shiny and sparkly around me. And so there may have been times where she had asked me to do something, and I was like, "Ooh, shiny, what's over here?" And I would get distracted. And I would say, she would ask me if I was going to do something. And, about the third or fourth time, she would be like, "Make me know it." In other words, get it done or you're in trouble.
Gotcha.
Um, And so we still joke around with her about that, because it got to the point where, especially in my late teen years, where she was not even giving me a couple chances. It was just like, ask me once, and like then the make me know it would come out. So
Right.
uh she
But I
has a
bet it
couple of,
made you a better husband.
no, actually, no.
No? Oh, okay. Dang it.
There are other I credit that more to my wife than my mother for that. My wife is an extremely patient woman, and Lord knows that she should be appointed for sainthood. Because I mean, I always tell people that we've been married for 27 years, and I always
Yeah.
tell people that my wife has 4 children and I have 3,
See, you
because
should not be proud of that.
I'm not saying that I'm proud of it. I'm saying that I recognize what I have put my wife through.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
I am fully on in recognition that I am the biggest child she has to contend with.
Oh,
And
geez.
but I try really hard in other ways to compensate for that, so that it's
Okay,
not so,
okay.
you know,
We'll
that I'm
give
not
you a pass. I'll
yeah,
talk to your wife later.
yeah, exactly. She'll tell you too. I'm not always a butthead, just mostly.
Does she have her
So
own podcast too, where she talks about you?
no, she just has Facebook. It's close enough.
There you go. There
So
you go.
but yeah. But she's an extremely patient woman, and I love her dearly. So,
No, that's nice.
wow. And she knows it. So I try to make sure she knows it. All right. So enough about me and my marriage. Let's talk
Yes.
about Patricia Patts and her career. All right.
Okay.
So we talked about Annie. We talked
Yeah.
about some of the stuff that was going on with, getting into Peanuts
Yeah.
and having the role of Peppermint Patty and everything else. So I have to admit that there was something I did not know about you as I was doing the research.
Hmm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was unaware of actually until today. I was today years old when I found out when I went to your webpage and realized that you had singer songwriter
Yes.
stuff you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool voice, by the way. I dig it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, so I'm curious as to what were your musical influences, and where would you, as a singer, where do you classify yourself in what type of genre?
I mean, I grew up doing Broadway. I first started writing music in the mid 90s.
Okay,
And that was the country craze.
sure, oh, sure,
And
yeah.
they had so many great female country artists
Mm-hmm.
back in those days.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's when I moved. I actually live in Nashville. And that's when I moved to Nashville. And most of the music that I've written has been country. or country pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the couple that I'd listened to were very country-esque ish.
Yeah.
Ish-esque, however we go
Yeah.
with that. But yeah, there was
So,
definitely country leanings to them. So I was just
yeah.
curious if you considered yourself pop country or classical country or
I mean, I would say pop country.
okay.
But I would also say it's been years at this point since I've really written anything. I went to Belmont University as a
Mhm.
songwriting major with a music business minor. I opened a studio where we rented out rooms to songwriters. And I did that for 4 years, which was, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And I got really discouraged with all the bro country. Just as we were
Yeah,
ending,
understandable.
it started this whole thing of like every song sounded the same. Excuse me. And it was all I'm driving down the road in my pickup truck with my pretty baby next to me with her bare feet up on the dash, and we're going to the pool, lake, beach, holler. It just like
And there's beer
uh
and my favorite dog and
right,
yeah.
right. And I
What
just I just looked at my business partner and we were like, I don't want to do this anymore.
yeah, I get that. I get
Yeah.
that.
So I
Yeah, there
actually
was
became a dog sitter, which is part of the reason why there's a dog barking in the background. I've been dog sitting for about 8 years. Went full bore on it for a number of years. Uh,
nice.
now I just kind of a few dogs here and there, more friends than anything else, and I do the Comic Cons.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is a perfect segue into my next question because I was going to ask you a question about Comic Cons.
Okay.
It's like you're looking at my notes. I love this. You set me up so nicely for a couple different questions.
I try.
I'm like, and I didn't share anything with her
You
about
did
this.
not. You did not
Yeah.
share anything.
So this is even better. I like this.
I'm
All right.
psychic.
So you
Shh.
actually post quite often about your visits to Comic Cons and where you're
Yeah.
going and what you're doing and which only makes sense because you want people to be able to come and visit you there and and that makes sense. But what do you personally enjoy most about the Comic Cons? And is this something you had to learn over time, or was this an immediate
No.
appreciation?
No. I went so it's been kind of funny. So the first one that I went to, I ended up there was an actor there, and he had asked the other people that were there, like, how did you get the role, kind of thing. And I was really kind of hesitant to tell him. I was in a not good marriage for a very long time, and
Mm.
was told, nobody wants to hear your stories, Patricia. Um, and so he's like, how'd you get the part? And I was like, oh, I was just doing a play, and they came to see me in the play, and they asked me to play the part. And he goes, oh, what play was it? And I go, oh, it was Annie. And he goes, what part? I said, Annie. It was 1978 in Los Angeles. It wasn't a big deal. And he goes, 1978 in Los Angeles at the Schubert Theater? Oh my God. And he totally fanboyed me.
How
And I
cool
was
is that?
I was just like, oh, oh my God. And I had so not expected that. And so that was like my first one, but the one that really sealed the deal for me, um I had walked into the building with this kid who was in, as I recall, it was a Iron Man costume,
Oh, okay.
but it was made from boxes and duct tape.
Oh,
And
cool.
he had colored it himself with a variety of different crayons, different colors of crayons, markers, like, and so he came in and I opened up the door for him because he was having a hard time moving around. And he gets in the door and I go, cool costume, because I didn't know yet it was called cosplay. And from across the hall, I hear, my brother. And I look up and it's a guy in an Iron Man cosplay, like the $6,000 with the
Right. Yeah.
head and the opens and the, and he comes walking over to this kid. He was probably 16, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the Iron Man guy is going, oh, dude, your outfit is just, you look amazing. My brother from another mother. And the kid's face just lit up like a Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you're the one that's got the cool costume. He goes, oh man, I just bought mine. You made yours. You spent hours on that. That
Mm-hmm.
is so cool. And it just made the kid's day.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
then as he walked through the show, everybody said what a great cosplay he had. And I ran into him again at the end of the day, and the tape had fallen off and the headgear was, flattened by this point. And I said, hey, did you have a good day? And he got this huge grin and he goes, I had the best day ever. Everybody loved my cosplay. And I
That's
said, well,
awesome.
it's cool. He goes, well, I worked really hard on it. It's just tape and boxes. I said, yeah, but you spent hours on that and
That's
everybody knew
effort.
it.
Yeah.
And like, I walked away thinking, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen for the most part. And I've been doing this for about 5 years now. Everybody I know is so kind, encouraging,
Mm-hmm.
inclusive, helpful. I can't tell you how often I've called somebody and been like, hey, could you talk to the people at this show? And they're like, oh yeah, of course. Let me make a
Mm-hmm.
phone call. Hey, they're going to call you, you know? Um, and I genuinely like all of the people, like the showrunners, the other actors, the
Mm-hmm.
fans, the like everything about it. Everything about it. I just adore them.
Yeah. I didn't start going to Comic Cons until about 5, 6 years ago. And I
I
was,
didn't know they existed.
well, I knew they existed, but I didn't go because, I don't want to say I was a closeted nerd, but
I was just gonna say you were hiding your geek, weren't you?
a little bit. Yeah, I kind of was. Um, and, I remember going to my first Comic Con and watching people, and I being impressed with these guys who had the big expensive 3D printed stuff
Right.
and the stuff they
Yeah.
went out and bought and watching, like, just like you said, watching those guys fawn all over the DIY guys,
Yeah.
you know, and the respect that they give them for the effort that they're putting into it.
Yep.
And one of my favorite things to do at a Comic Con now is that when I go, I mean, I'm obviously there. I want to, there's people I want to meet. There's things I want to do. I got nerd merch to buy. I have, a whole paycheck I got to blow there. Uh, but also, I love to talk to people about their cosplay.
Yeah.
And I've found and again, this goes back to, I like to know why people do what they do and what makes them tick, and
Yeah.
hearing them tell the story about why they selected this character and that cosplay and all those other
Yeah.
things. There's some really cool stories out there. One of my favorites was last year at the Grand Rapids, Michigan Comic Con, at the GR Comic Con. They had I met up with this young man who was either nonverbal autistic or very mildly verbal.
Okay.
So he was there with his parents, and he had on this suit, like a full, like tailored suit that looked like the Rainbow Road from Mario Kart. And he had all the little like Mario Kart things attached to the suit in different places. And it was just so cool. And I just walked up to him and I didn't, I not being sure how he felt about physical contact. I had seen him from across the room. I didn't want to impose myself there, but I stood next to his parents and I just said, trying to be respectful. I didn't, wanted him to enjoy his day. And I just looked at him and said, I need you to know how cool your suit is. This is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in cosplay. And I loved the originality of it.
Yeah.
And the kid just beamed from ear to ear. The mom had tears in her eyes. The dad shaking my hand, thanking me for acknowledging it. It meant a lot to his son. He goes, he can't say it, but it means a lot to him. Trust me. And the kid's over there just grinning ear to ear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you did good, buddy. That's
yeah. I just, it's so fun to people watch at these things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then like I get to do things like I met a llama.
Right?
Like that's just cool.
There is so much fun to be had at a Comic-Con, outside of the potential for meeting llamas. There's always that.
Right.
But there's so many other things, and you meet cool people there, and
that's
not even just the celebrities. That's just the folks that are there. And,
but even the celebrities, like I get messages from Scott Innes on a regular basis, who's the voice of Scooby-Doo. Like, huh? I'll be out somewhere and I'll get a message and somebody will go, "Oh, what's that? Oh, Scooby-Doo's calling me." no worries.
no big deal. Just Scooby. So that's cool.
So it's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Everybody's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about work. We talked about how this is a good time for you. Again, we're setting me up for these really nice segues. And we're talking. So here's my next question for you. We've talked about all these different things. We talked about having a good time at Comic-Cons. But even a Comic-Con is still work. It's still tiring. It still has limitations for the body, all these different things. So how does Patricia Patts recharge her batteries at the end of the day? What helps you feel fresh for whatever's coming up next?
It's funny because I've seen people talk about the crash you get at the end of the shows. Like you're on for 2 or 3 days. There's so much excitement. There's so much to do.
Right.
I always have friends at shows and we get to go and have dinner and talk and I have con blues on Tuesday. Like
for sure.
I do all the stuff and I just have so much fun. I don't even mind the travel. I realized that on the last trip that I was on, I got delayed and they moved my gate 4 times. And like, I kept passing by Charlie Brown because they were changing his gate too. And I was just laughing at the whole thing. And I sat and looked at my phone for an extra hour. Like I wouldn't have done that anyway. I don't understand why people get so upset at travel because I even enjoy that aspect of it. And then by Tuesday, I sleep 16 hours and I wake up with con blues. And it just is what it is.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that every year in September. So this actually this weekend, I'm going to Monroe, Michigan for the Monroe Comic-Con. It's a smaller Comic-Con. And I love it because for the last 4 years I've helped run the panel room there.
Oh,
And it's a ton of fun. Get to meet a lot of people, have cool conversations with people who are there to, do the Comic-Con thing. And it's just that. So, and that con is over on Saturday night. So Sunday morning, I'm officially sitting there going, well, that's
I gotta wait another year.
Yeah, exactly. And poor Gary, the owner of the guy who runs the Comic-Con. for the rest of the year, 364 days until the next one. I'm like, hey, so what about this person? Hey, so what about that person? What do you think about this? How about that? What if we did this? What if we did that? Hey, Gary. That poor
Yeah.
guy. He is, again, another person who probably needs to be appointed for sainthood because he's putting up with me and all my little ADHD buddies. So
Funny.
that poor
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I actually scheduled myself for my goal was to hit 25 shows.
Okay.
425. I have managed. I think I'm at 22 shows. I had one that canceled. And I'm not going to reach my 25. That is okay. I to get deep here. I had a friend pass away, and I inherited her dog. And beforehand, she would always watch my dogs. And so there was no cost involved in me usually leaving town. And with her passing, I have figured out that having 3 dogs is super expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And leaving town is prohibitively expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not reaching out to shows anymore. I'm keeping my commitments that I have. I have some shows already for next year. And some of them I'm just super, super excited about. Black Hills Comic-Con I've been trying to get into for like 4 years. So, but I just felt like I needed to step back and refocus things. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
completely understandable.
I still have, I want to say it's 8 shows for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So it's not like you're missing out here.
No, not yet, but
Not yet. No. Yeah, but boarding 1 dog is expensive. Boarding 3 dogs is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I spent $7,300 on dogs in 3 months.
Ouch. Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get your attention.
Two of them. So my friend, I found a mama Pomeranian and her 2 puppies at my local shelter. And so my friend kept one of the puppies and I kept the other puppy. So I have 2 purebred Pomeranian puppies. Well, they're 2 years old now. And grooming those things are like.
Yeah, it's a constant thing.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I get it. My corgi, same way.
Yeah.
She's expensive.
But you have a wife. You have a wife that stays home and watches the dogs, right? I don't have a wife. I would love to have a wife. I don't want a husband. I'm not gay. But a wife. A wife would be so helpful. Oh my God. First off, the tax breaks, right? The tax breaks on being married. Like, that would be fantastic. Someone to cook? I'm not a fan. Someone to clean? I don't want to do it anymore. And then they can stay home and watch the dogs. And they can work a job and pay 50% of all of the bills. I need a wife.
There you go. There you go, ladies. If you're looking for a purely platonic marriage, please get a hold of Patricia Patts. She is in the ballpark looking for a platonic marriage mate. Must be dog friendly and have the ability to cook more than macaroni and cheese.
Exactly.
So we'll see if that helps you, Annie.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. It's one of my many talents. All right. So, Patricia, you have made it this far in the show. It is time to ask you a silly question.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, it's not all that silly. We just call it a silly question. Now, we came up with this because one of my team members Her name is Kathleen. Kathleen and her husband John have a daughter who's now 6.5. I think this happened when their daughter was maybe 5, so about a year and a half ago. And Kathleen and her daughter are out and about, and somebody asked this question of her daughter, but not her. And Kathleen was like, you should never age out of this question. That's stupid. How come you didn't ask me? So here it is.
Okay.
Patricia Patts, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Wow.
I know.
I would have to say it's the one from Toy Story.
Okay, Rex. Yeah. Rex the T-Rex.
Rex the T-Rex. That would be my favorite dinosaur. I don't think that's the answer that you were looking for, but
but I love it. So funny enough story is that we're big Toy Story fans around here because my oldest son, when he was little, was so addicted to Toy Story. Like Toy Story, he would take out Toy Story 1 out of the VHS, and out of the VCR, and take out the VHS tape. Those are our abbreviations, kids. You can go look them up on Google, find out what they mean. And and he'd take out one cassette and put it in the other. Take out one cassette, put it in the other.
Yeah.
And eventually we got one of those rewinder things, and we taught him how to use the rewinder, and
nice.
And then
Nice. Yeah. My daughter's was Monsters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And at the end of every time she watched it, and it was hundreds of times, she would run to wherever I was in the house and go, "Dance, Mama, dance." And the final credits would roll and the song would play, and I would pick her up and I would dance her around the room. And don't dip me, oh, you dipped me. And I would lean her back and she would just giggle the entire time.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I've told her already that if she ever gets married, that's going to have to be our dance, because her father has passed away. So, there's not going to be a father-daughter dance. So it'll have to be a mother-daughter dance, and I'll dip her at the appropriate time.
Absolutely. 100% has to happen. So let it be written. So let it be done. She dances with her daughter.
Exactly.
All right. Patricia, thank you so much for being on the FSF podcast today.
You're welcome. This was fun.
Thank you. I've enjoyed you being here just immensely. Where can our listeners go to find out more about you, your work, or anything you've got coming up?
So the best place is Facebook. I tend to forget that the others even exist. And I talk on Facebook all the time. I just listed all the Comic-Cons that I have coming up, but I'll be at Granite Con in 2 weeks, and Chattanooga Comic-Con after that. Cartersville Comic-Con. And now I'm going off the top of my head and not by date. Akron Comic-Con, Cajun Con, which is Scott Innes's con in Louisiana. That's in December. And I know I'm missing some others that I'm super excited about. So go find my my Facebook page. It's Patricia Patts -voice actor.
All right. Very cool. I will make sure that we get that link down in the show notes down below. That way people can find all the cons that you're going to and everything else. Plus, she's just a fun Facebook follow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try to make it fun.
You do for sure. So we'll put those down there. Everybody can go give you a follow and be kept in the loop as to your traveling, so they'll know where to look for you at. Excellent. Now, hey guys, if you haven't already, now seems like a really, really good time to remind you that the most impressive and important free thing that you can do today is to like and follow the FSF Podcast here on YouTube. Because when you do that, it helps us get more amazing guests like Patricia Patts here today to have these conversations for you to be able to enjoy and to listen to. So please consider checking out our show, giving it a follow. It helps well more than we can ever really tell you. And go check out Patricia's work too. Go find her at a con. Go say hello.
Please
get something signed. Get something signed. It'll be fun. So, Patricia, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you to everyone for listening and or watching this here nerdy shindiggery of a podcast we got going on. And may
shindiggery.
The shindiggery. That's right. And may the force be with you as you continue to live long and prosper.
And also with you.
And also with you.
Copyright 2025 FSF Podcast. Reference any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF Podcast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpodcast.com.